Rumford about to go through his routine, and the playoff will be at the 18th hole, and they'll keep on playing it until we have a winner. So there is almost our final leaders board, final after 72 holes anyway. Rumford and Spence about to go into the playoff, and maybe, just maybe, and after Aaron Baddeley's triumph last week. King, Partridge, Parry and Russell in a four-way tie for third at 11 under. Nick Ahern and Rod Pampling tie for seventh at 10 under. Greg Chalmers even par round today. Those at 8 under, Craig Jones, David McKenzie, Des Terblanche from South Africa. Also Dodd, Mosley, Kane, Gow, Backwell. That's a very good indicator of just how crowded this leaders board has been. So about a 7 or 8 way tie for 10th as we head down the board. Good to see somewhat of a return to form for Bradley Hughes. He shot 72 in the closing round to be one of a number of players at 6 under. And it's just been so compacted all the way through the day. Martin Roberts had a pretty good day. John Sandon had an even better day. -4 today, a round of 69. And just reminding you that we will be here until the last shot is played. And if you're just walking in the door and expecting to see 10 News, it'll be coming up from Western Australia versus Craig Spence from Victoria, and it will all begin very, very soon. 12 months ago, we came to this beautiful city of Brisbane and we witnessed a two-man playoff. One of them was the winner of a major championship. Today, we're going to witness a two-man playoff, and one of them is an amateur. Brett Rumford versus Craig Spence. Here's the toss. Brett Rumford has the honour. Brett, officer, is that an advantage to go first?
Well, it depends. If you hit your tee shot in play, it's a big advantage. But if you go first and just happen to miss the fairway, hit it into a fairway trap or into thick rough, then it's advantage your opponent. Just interesting to see him finishing off his warm-up there, swinging a couple of clubs. I saw him doing that on the 8th tee quite a few hours ago, so helping with his rhythm. He hasn't changed his game plan. He is going with the iron from the tee.
That's a 3-iron down the right-hand side of the fairway, trying to draw back, maybe close to these bunkers.
Right, stop dead, Aussie, perfect position. It's okay.
But that's a long way back. He's going to have a very long iron into this green. As we look at Craig Spence, he's out with a big driver. He's just going to smash it down here through the bunkers.
So far this week, Craig Spence on the 18th has gone birdie, par, par, par.
Starting right down the centre, just smoked it.
His tee shot on the 72nd hole was pulled left and it ran through the fairway trap. But that is ideal. So it's now advantage Spence.
Throughout the weekend, Stanley, there's been a lot of talk about what's going to happen. Nothing has let us down. We'll be back with more after this. Back with you on the first playoff hole in the ANZ Players Championship. If you just happen to be coming in, you're watching this man, the 22-year-old amateur from Perth, Brett Rumford, take on Craig Spence. Rumford has driven 204 metres with the iron, sticking to his game plan. Craig Spence stuck to his and thumped it 265. Second shot to the first playoff hole.
6-iron downwind. And this is going at the pin, just moving a touch left now.
Well, it was an ambitious play with a 6-iron. He had to hit it very hard and unfortunately just dragging it left.
Have a look where Craig Spence has got 130 metres to the flag, and I think safety is the issue here. He'll just play it in the middle of the green, away from the flag, just to the fat of the green, and make sure it's in the middle. To give himself 2 putts for a par, put the pressure back on the young amateur in the bunker.
And he's actually in the GUR, and his ball is laying on a filled-in divot, so he's going to take relief. But it's actually going to probably make his next shot a bit more awkward, because he's going to have to drop it up the slope of the bunker.
Well, it doesn't look too good there, Sandy, does it? But he can actually drop it up on the bank, and it might pop down onto the flat.
The thing about the GUR here, it is optional. It's not a compulsory drop, and because he has a poor lie, he is going to drop. He must go to his nearest point of relief. He's entitled to 1 club length from there. He must take total relief from that GUR. And that is what is going to put him on the side of this hill. The good news, however, with the ball above your feet, it does tend to help you move the ball right to left. So he can give this a bit of air out to the right of the flag. He has plenty of green to work with out there. You see him dropping twice, the ball rolling back into the obstruction, and then he is entitled to place the point where the ball struck the ground the second time.
He's on a hanging lie here. Ian Stanley has what he's just seen happen to Brett Rumford finding the left trap. Will that cause a change in philosophy to this shot for Craig Spence?
Well, I think so. Knowing Craig, he's got a pretty good head on his shoulder. He should be hitting it out to the right side of the green. He knows he's going to draw the ball. But he's got to get it on the green to put pressure on Brett in the bunker. It's only a short distance, 130 metres.
It's quite a strong breeze blowing too behind him, Ian.
You know, I still think it's a pretty good one, because most is going to go as 125, isn't it? Yeah.
Rumford watches and waits. Craig Spence, second shot, first playoff hole.
He has the wedge. Looks pretty good. Oh, too big.
Just a little bit too big either.
Got a bit of a flyer where the grass got in between the ball and the club face, and we had no backspin. But the adrenaline would be running there, Brett, too. You know, be a bit pumped up.
He did look a little disturbed about having to take this drop. See his swing, sets it at the top, very straight left arm through there, and not a lot of wrist hinge. Drops it back down inside the line, caught it nicely, beautiful extension through the ball. Goes into the customary balanced finish. All of these players do so well. Wait fully through onto the left side. The only thing wrong is it went 10 yards too far, carried well over off that bank.
It was advantage Spence after the tee shots. Who has the advantage now?
Well, without seeing Rumford's lie over there in the sand, this is not a particularly difficult shot from over the back of the green here. I think he will be coming for Spence. I think he will be coming back slightly into the breeze. So, to answer the question, I'd say about even Stevens.
You can see Brent Sly there. It's ball's below his feet. He's got to get it up very quickly. Sitting nicely, but he's only got 7 metres from the edge of the green to the cup coming this angle. You see how his feet are going to be above the ball. This little mound to come over.
And the thing that might help him is the fringe. He's got 2 metres of fringe he can land it on, and then it's downhill from there to the hole once you get on the green.
10 times this week Brett Rumford has had to come from the sand, and 6 times he's saved it. So better than a 50% record.
Yeah. You like it?
Just a reminder that 10 News will follow the conclusion of this ANZ Players' Championship.
So, third shot now for Spence on the first playoff hole.
Shot, yeah, go!
Yeah, it looks like the winter crown Rent a Clown is getting a bit of a workout this afternoon. A great shot from Spence.
He had a fantastic amateur record in the Victorian Amateur, winning it twice. And it's just a match play situation between these two young men. Craig will just say, well, back to you, Brett. You see the shoulder he's walking over. He's got to get the ball up. Check it.
Many, many times this week we've seen these players exhibit fantastic talent from the sand. They do spend hours and hours and hours honing their skills. The sand here at Royal Queensland is a very nice texture, very even, consistent texture. He'll need everything working for him here.
Contact.
That is sensational.
How do you like that?
Talk about nerves of steel.
Well, I think when he was asked about the playoff, he said nothing, never been in a playoff as important as this. This is like a playoff for the club monthly medal.
Interesting the way he's taken the glove off to get both hands free on the club. Wide takeaway, long backswing, but watch the follow through. Follows through well, up she pops. And look at the backspin on this ball when it hits the green. One big bounce. Look at this, he knew it was good. You beauty.
Brett Rumford stone dead for his par at the first playoff hole. So now all of the pressure which has been on the shoulders of the young man from Perth transfers to the shoulders of the man 3 years his senior from Victoria, the Masters champion, who's been in this situation before. He knows the pressure of the moment. He knows what it takes. Now all he has to do is pull the trigger and execute.
How quickly it can all turn around. A moment ago he had a wedge into the last green with his opponent in a trap. Now he needs this to stay alive.
What a match. Give it to him, Craig.
If only he could.
Then they'll have to get back into the carts, all the way back up to the tee and do it all over again. You see how Brett had to mark his ball over so Craig could putt. This is to tie the playoff, just a formality. Well done.
The one thing that does happen when we do finally have a winner, we're going to be very disappointed for the man who doesn't win, because both of these players have given us a remarkable afternoon of golf. So they're heading back to the 18th tee, 397 metres away, and they're going to do it all over again. Brett Rumford versus Craig Spence. Will be back with the action from the second playoff hole on 10 after this. Fortunately, neither Brett Rumford nor Craig Spence has had to worry about finding the water in Brisbane on this Sunday, but lots of other people do, and they love it. And why wouldn't they? It's one of the great holiday destinations in the world. Beautiful Queensland. And I think Brett Rumford might remember this destination. Speaking of beautiful, just watch this and listen to the reaction. The crowd is pulling for him.
Well, they're all amateur golfers in that crowd. They're a little biased. But the sad part about all this is that one of these players will lose this playoff. At the moment, they're both fighting tooth and nail. A couple of great pars. The up and down from Spence was class.
Craig Spence Spence awaits Brett Rumford, who now arrives on the tee for the second playoff hole. And Spence knows that he will collect a cheque for $144,000 because the amateur will not collect prize money, as was the case last week in the Australian Open.
That's right. First prize 144, and then second, third, fourth and fifth, they add all the money together, and then they divide it between the four players. It's 51,000, but we're not worrying about that at the moment. He's still sticking to the game plan. Out with the iron.
That's 3 iron, up the right-hand side, right down the centre this time, drawing back perfectly.
Great position there again, but again he's going to have to hit a long iron into this green. Now will Craig take the gamble, take the driver and try and drive it through the bunkers? He has. He's got the driver out.
A few deep breaths. Swallow hard.
And think about where you do want it to go, not where you don't want it to go. Down the middle.
Oh, Craig.
Yeah, come on, staying on the left side, fading just inside the bunker line. This will be good.
Perfect position, straight down the middle.
You won't have to worry about a drop there. You see the white line, but that's right in the middle of the fairway.
Let's have a look at these respective swings. First of all, the 22-year-old from Perth, Brett Rumford.
Beautiful setup position here. See how straight his legs are there. Stands nice and tall. Nice wide takeaway. Big shoulder turn. High hands. Now as he starts down, his head stays very steady. Stays behind the ball at impact. Hits through onto a very firm left side. It's very strong and wiry, very confident.
Ian, let's compare it to the swing of the Ericsson Masters champion, Craig Spence.
Craig's got a very high hand action here. You can see how his hands are very high. Big shoulder turn. As he takes the club back. Very big shoulder turn. See how his shoulders are behind the ball. No, very little wrist cock. Look at that. Bang, straight in. Great position. See how before he's staying behind the ball. And he's turning his hips through. The interesting thing is here, look at this great position here where a lot of our amateur friends tend to stay on the back foot and keep that foot on the ground. So he's got all his weight moving right through the ball over onto his left side. One of the longest hitters on the tour and very relaxed. And I think that tee shot he's hit is magnificent because he's now in the middle of the fairway, but he won't have to take a drop off that GUR. And you can see the distance he's hit. 257, 140 to go. And Brett Rumford's got 191 into the... So it's back with Craig at the moment.
Not a dissimilar situation to the one we had just a few minutes ago.
So yeah, Brett, that's exactly the same meterage he had for his 6 iron when he hit him before.
We dare, well, he did get the length right the first time Aussie, so we dare say he'll be hitting 6 iron again. Of course, that measurement, he won't want to be flying his ball all the way to the pin. He'll need to land it on the front of the green, about 10 metres from the flag, and let it kick up.
So the money's not a factor in his thinking. He knows he won't walk away with anything bar the trophy. But the trophy and the honour are the things upmost in his mind at this moment. That and just putting that ball on the green. Brett Rumford, second shot, second playoff hole.
Wind helping right to left, 6 iron. This is a much better strike, starting at the middle, turning, still be right at the pin though.
Oh, I heard him say, be as good as you look. But it's not. It looked good. It looked great even. But now he has his work cut out to make another 4, second playoff hole. So again, back to Spence.
Sandra, you're down there. Is he in the GUR? Does he have to take? He doesn't have to take a drop out of the GUR if he doesn't want to,
No.
depending on the lie.
He is actually in the GUR, and he is going to take a drop, I think.
I won't worry about it.
No, I think he's going to. He's deciding whether he will or he won't, because it's actually a pretty good lie-in.
Well, the thing is, the first time they went around, he had to drop it on the side of the slope. Well, here he's got a beautiful lie. Look at the ball sitting up. And it's nice and flat. This is where the caddies come in. They're talking there. They're working out the yardage. Let's listen.
130.
Somewhere on the dance floor, and once again he'll have the advantage.
Smooth 9. He knows a strong wedge would be too much. 8 would be too hard to get there with a strong wedge. So an easy 9.
It's at the centre of the green, and it's coming back a little bit. It's going to be centre.
Safely on. I'm thinking he'll be pretty aggressive with this. Just a couple of extra practice swings just to confirm the feel. And then go.
Well done. Great shot under pressure.
So if he wants to win, he needs to be, again, aggressive.
It's been a tumultuous couple of weeks for the 25-year-old, having, of course, earned his card for the US PGA Tour next year, rushing back to the Australian Open. Now, this putt for victory in the ANZ Players Championship to add to his Masters title.
Going left.
Well, it's so hard to get the speed right. In the back of your mind, you're also thinking about perhaps rolling it too far past. So under the circumstances, pretty good attempt. He'll live to fight another day.
Important for Brett Rumford. Brett, not to think that the job's done. I'm sure he's not. Every putt needs due care and attention. That's what's left. It's less than a metre.
The third time. We did have a playoff some 4 years ago at the Cannon Challenge. Peter Senior and Steve Alker that went for 4 holes.
They get wide in the club, wouldn't they? A little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's persisting with his iron.
It's going down the left-hand side towards the bunkers.
And that's going to go in the bunker.
It's actually pulled up short, Sandy.
But we saw him hit it in the right-hand side, then in the centre, and now the left-hand side. The problem we've seen with the iron off the tee in his previous 2 attempts was he had a very long second shot and a difficult shot to hit close to the flag. And with only 7 birdies on this hole throughout the day, I think we're probably going to see the whole one with a par as opposed to a birdie.
All right, Craig Spence, he won't change the game plan. There he is with the big artillery. He's hit 2 beauties down here already.
Oh, he's hit that one good too. That might be the best of the 3.
Well, he's certainly shown us, Aussie, that he has a lot of game. He's good under pressure, and that's an enormous tee shot.
Well, you see now, Grades, the difference is, as you guys have been saying, Rumford's got a difficult shot, and Spence has got a wedge to the
Yeah,
green.
that's right. Now, Craig could have changed his plan of attack there once Brett knocked his tee shot into the bunker, but he didn't. He took the driver and went at it again, and he's hit a beautiful tee shot right down the middle of the fairway. Now he's only going to have sand wedge into the green.
All right, you played in 4 or 5 of these. I mean, it must be very tense.
Yeah, they are, but it's better off to be in a playoff than sitting on the sideline and watching. And, yeah, someone's got to win and lose. I think I lost more than I won in playoffs, but I was in quite a few of them.
You know, I was just in Charlie Earp's room watching on television. There's about 50 blokes in there. And Rumford came in and laid a towel on the floor and started doing a bit of this and a bit of this and stretching. And he looks perfectly calm. I know inside he's probably being chewed up, but he looks perfectly calm. And then he went out and hit a few balls.
Yeah, the young guys today, they, you know, only 22 years old, but they do a lot of stretching, and they're more and more involved in how the body works and nutrition and everything today, as opposed to what we used to be.
There's a very determined look on that young face, isn't there?
Well, yeah, he, you know, there's no money for him, but I don't think he's not worried about that. Aaron won last week as an amateur, and he's desperate to win this week, so he can, you know, just say to Aaron, well, look, whatever you can do, so can I.
All right, he's pacing it out.
First task is get it over the lip.
Pretty good contact. Hit it towards the centre of the green. It's drifting towards the left front.
He's come up with another one. This is simply amazing golf.
Oh, this looks good.
Where he was the first time. And now Brett Rumford has the advantage. We will be back with the putting action. You are watching the 3rd playoff hole of the ANZ Players Championship from Royal Queensland in Brisbane. Craig Spence at the back of the 18th, his 3rd shot. Very good, not quite stone dead yet.
Again coming in short, Pete. We've seen a lot of putts during the day come in short. This is, as we've been saying, this is a new green.
And he wheeled the magic wand one more time.
Of course he can. How about this for a play? Oh, great effort.
I mentioned that last year we had a major championship winner in Corey Pavin in the playoff. But what we are seeing today is proof before our eyes that we don't need major championship players all the time. That we can have 2 young guns of Australian golf and they can thrill us just as much. That's exactly what they're doing.
Good contact, straight down the centre.
Avoided the bunker he was in just minutes ago.
Make that 4, right down the centre again.
Once again, he's found the middle of the fairway. This is just remarkable. Wherever you're watching around Australia, I hope you're enjoying it. We'll be back in just a moment to Royal Queensland.
Second shot that he's had.
Seven iron from 176, starting at the middle of the green and staying there. It's going to land on the green.
Pretty similar putt to the one he had last time.
This is actually pitching wedge, Wayne, 121 metres. And it's at it. Needs to be the right distance.
He's going to get used to that spot eventually.
Well, would you believe it? He's taken the driver off the tee 4 times, 4 perfect positions.
Practice at this shot in the last hour. Perfect.
Well, 2 in a row. 2 amateurs in a row. I don't think it's ever been done before on the tour.
I can tell you now, his caddy won't mind me telling you, he's had a bit of money on him at plenty of odds last night.
Well, good on him.
Absolutely.
While we acclaim the winner, gentlemen, let's spare a thought for Craig Spence too, and his brave performance. That is one of the most entertaining afternoons of golf you will ever be privileged enough to see. Well done, Brett Rumford. Well done, Craig Spence. And the amateur is again the champion. Bob Toohey there, tournament organiser, congratulating both of the players. And here is the winning putt again. Just listen to this.
Absolutely fantastic. Just fantastic. Now, Graves, that young man will play golf for the rest of his life, but he'll always remember that putt on the 18th green here at Royal Course.
He certainly will. And now we have a situation where we have 2 amateurs with 5-year exemptions on our tour. So, that's incredible. But it was great to see. He hung in there.
Yeah.
A conservative play off the tee 4 times, which I thought was going to bring him undone. And he finished up holing a great putt for birdie.
Absolutely. This is the reason people play golf and people come out to watch the game of golf, is magnificent stuff like this. Look at that. Brett Rumford from the Royal Perth Golf Club in Western Australia. We're out of here. That was sensational. It doesn't get any better. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
The ANZ Players Championship is a PGA Tour production in association with Becca Sport for Network 10.